I thought we were going to play the video, but we're not playing the video. We actually have live in studio Dahlia Fernandes. Good morning, Dahlia.
Good morning.
And we're talking about artistic journeys because you have a very interesting journey. You are of East Indian descent, Canadian heritage, and you are married to our very own Nickoli Salcedo, who we all know and love. And we're talking about your journey as a singer-songwriter. We'll share the video a little later on. First of all, tell us about you know, what your life has been, being able to be all, you're sort of like global, right?
Yes. So
trans-global, really.
So I grew up in India and Dubai, and then we moved to Canada 22 years ago, actually, coming up from 22 years. And then because of the Hero film and Journey being partly filmed in Toronto, Nickoli ended up shooting there. We met through a common friend named Sheldon Holder, and of course, director Francis And made an awesome choice in doing so. And we connected in an artistic level, and then became a personal level, which brought me to Trinidad.
Wonderful. And being of East Indian descent, I know that Trinidad and Tobago is so prevalently East Indian heritage as well. Was there a connection at all? Because, you may not have known that, right?
Yes, actually, it's really strange, the connection, because growing up in India, I never met anyone from the West Indies, or the Caribbean, and then. But
you knew of the Caribbean, through cricket and stuff?
Of course, yeah. You have learned that, yeah.
Right, okay.
And then moving to Canada, my high school was predominantly West Indian.
Really?
Yeah. So I pick up some Triniisms, So in meeting Nickoli and coming to Trinidad, I think the first time I came, it was Diwali, and I was like, what is happening? This is really trippy. And I grew up Roman Catholic and from a place called Goa, which is a Portuguese colony in India. So to see sort of the mix over here is like really interesting.
That must have blown your mind, being a Catholic of East Indian descent and seeing all of us here lighting days, celebrating Diwali.
It was amazing.
And living the moment. Exactly what I was talking about just now in terms of the true diversity happening here. And let's talk about your art now. So you have all of this world experience. How did you channel it into your work?
So I was doing marketing for a long time in beverage alcohol like Guinness and Johnny Walker and stuff. And I left that to go design bread and put out my first record. And then I said, okay, I'm done as a marketer in the corporate world. And I'm going to transition into pursuing my music full time a few years ago, maybe 3 years ago. And I started writing for other artists, actually, in Canada. So with my producer and partner, Roy Hamilton, the third, we were able to start writing for other people and grew my rapport that way. And my love for marketing was always there, so I started developing artists and collaborating and still staying in marketing, but in an artistic way. So it was very cool that we were able to go to the UK, and I was able to then, under the direction of Francis Ann Solomon, channel both my arts and my music, and further the film as well,
And you did a new release called Wash Away, right? But I was shot here.
It was shot here. It's coming out next month, Jan 2020. Las Cuevas, 5 a.m. call time. No one on the beach.
Right.
I was like, this is happening. There's no one here. Of course, in Canada, no one would know it was Las Cuevas, or in the world. So when you have these big drone shots, it's just going to look like $20,000 budget.
Yeah, don't say that. No, they know.
Yeah, I'm revealing secrets right here on TTT,
And Nickoli directed it?
Yes, Nickoli directed it, and which is great because I keep directing my own music videos, and it was nice to be like, okay, someone else has this. Anthony Edwards filmed, and we had Francesco Hawkins, who was a script supervisor, and a few other people on set that really made it happen,
And what was it like now? You co-produced Nickoli's record with him. So you guys work together sometimes.
Yes,
but you're two artists in your own right. You're separate artists in your own right. So what was it like co-producing?
When I work with Nickoli in any of his artistic capacities, I always make sure to I try to take off wife hat, and I try to put on my my producer, co-producer, management hat, and we've developed a relationship that's like, okay, now we're co-workers, and we're very honest with each other to keep our art, you know, the integrity of our art, and no one knows me better. So likewise, he's such a stickler. He's very uncompromising with his vision. He's, you know, he executive produced the record that's coming out, so he's got a few singles on the way, and it's just a gift to be able to be in the studio and go, okay, this is a vision. I just need to be part of this team in making that happen. And Keshav, who I think Nickoli will talk a little bit later about, working with Keshav as a producer who's done a lot of Marshall and Bunji Garlin and stuff like that, he allows and permits people and their feedback. So if I say, hey Keshav, what do you think of this? He could say yes, or he could be, maybe not.
Yeah.
So that's, as a team, it was like really cool to bring that all together.
Tell me, is it tough working with Nickoli? Is it hard? Is it? Do you have to be like, bring out the big stick? You know, he's right across there. Like if he's not in the room, you know.
Everyone knows that Nickoli is so kind and personable. Yes. But when it comes to his art,
it's a different person.
It's a different person.
I know.
If you screw up, if you mess up, if you mess up a note on, you know, I sometimes do backups for him. You mess up a note, and you will get a side eye on stage. Don't mess up your notes. Okay. Practice.
But I'm going to walk across and have a chat with him. We're going to see if your video is ready so that we can use. But we do have Nickoli's music, which you're going to play under this interview. Good morning, Nickoli.
Morning, Lisa.
And I wish I could have, you know, he's like, don't talk all this stuff about me, but he was watching it with so much love from across this room. Yeah. I felt it coming across, so much love and pride. Nickoli, absolutely. Good to have you back in studio with us.
Yeah, it's good to be back here, man.
You are everywhere. I'm seeing you everywhere. I don't even know if you're in London, you're in South Africa.
I don't even know either.
You're just coming off the heels of a very successful Hero tour.
Yeah.
Yeah, and of course, Hero is going to be coming back to Trinidad and Tobago next May 26th. So welcome back. But we're now talking about, before we talk about the tour and what was that was like for you, you have a brand new soca-esque single.
Soca adjacent to calling Tortilla Springer.
Yeah. What's that about?
So it's a new single called So Classic. I mean, a lot of my music, I would say, has always been heavily influenced by soca and calypso and things that are very local. But this is taking it in a direction that's like going into like Latin and all sorts of other things. So it's a real kind of dancey, bumpy kind of.
We're hearing it in the background there a little bit,
so it's it's a song called So Classic, and I don't want to sell it out. You know, but it's out right now on all streaming platforms, and people could go and check it out. You know, download it and whatever.
Yeah, but you are steaming hot right now. I showed a photograph of you some time ago on a BBC Manchester set. Right? Because I couldn't keep up with you. We're gonna find that shot. We're gonna find that shot. It's somewhere in our group with you there having a awesome time. What was it like? 2.5 months touring with Hero.
2.5 months touring with Hero. That was, as always with every trip I do with Hero, it was epic, you know. And to have not just work again with Francis Ann, which is always like a whirlwind, you know, that leaves me on the other end revolutionizing myself. But to have Dahlia on that trip as well, you know, and just for us to be able to make that kind of trek together, that was astounding. And then the responses of the audiences.
Yes, tell me about that.
Like, I don't know, man. I think because of the fact of, I guess, what the UK is going through politically right now, a lot of people resonated with the film. You know, so the question and answer sessions we usually have after every screening, you know, those got political, you know, heavily into like social commentary about a lot of things affecting them, affecting the world at large. You know, so we ended up getting into all kinds of discussion. One lady stood up and asked me point blank, what are your views on Brexit? And I had to this, you know.
Like, what are you asking me? I'm just all cross.
But the thing is, for me, that's the kind of stuff I like to talk about anyway. So it was 2.5 months of, you know, engaging people in discussions that I feel are really important. And then even going to Johannesburg too. And encountering everything there.
Part of the world. And I think that's why the film has been so successful. We're getting 4 to 5 stars from the FT, and you know, excellent reviews from the Telegraph and the UK Guardian and Evening Standard, I think 4 out of 5 as well.
Yeah.
You know, I think it, as you're correct, it's resonating with people around the world as well.
Yeah.
Global audiences, because that's the currency right now. You know,
Pretty
that's
much,
what people are talking about right now. Now, you've been really busy. You've been to Berlin, I understand?
Yeah, I went to Berlin after the 2.5 months in the UK. I ended up going over to Berlin to work with a couple of friends of mine. We did some music over there.
Right.
One of them was in Trinidad earlier this year for Carnival. And that's when I met him. No.
Okay.
So Keshav Chandradatsing,
yes,
who is the producer of So Classic, is an old friend of mine. We've been working together for like years. So like I met Keshav probably like 10 years ago or more. And finally got a chance to work with him now on this. But what happened in Berlin was I met a guy came here to Trinidad during Carnival this year, an artist named Hans Reuschel.
Yeah.
And I ended up painting a mural with him by Belmont Secondary. So we did that mural, and he was like, hey man, I have some music and I'd like some lyrics for it. So I went in studio with him in St. Anne's, we recorded it. And then when he found out I was in England, he was like, hey, why don't you just fly over to Berlin and do a couple more songs? So I went to Berlin for, I think, a week, roughly, and just, recorded some new music again. And,
what a lovely part of the world to be recording music. Don't you just love Berlin?
Yeah, Berlin
I
is
love
a
Berlin.
really interesting city.
Yeah, I love it. I was there earlier this year, actually,
Really?
for the Berlinale Festival,
Right.
And it's, I think it's just a multicultural city that and of unexpected, you know, spaces, and I guess going to the Berlin Festival would obviously be a different time as well.
Right.
But it was just
like what amazed me about the place was there's art all over the city.
Exactly. Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
Like I was like,
because they've taken images of the wall and parts of the everything and made it into a museum, a living, breathing museum. It's beautiful part. So it's and I'm saying that because it helps you to become so much more creative when you're in spaces like that, right?
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
Well, listen, you act, you sing, you paint, you write. Your husband to Dahlia Fernandes. And I know you guys are separate artists, but do you think you'll ever have a collaboration?
We collaborate all the time.
Like on performances, I mean, like that side. Not the business, management, producing, co-directing side, like behind the scenes, but in front of the camera.
We've actually performed together. We've collaborated on some written songs together. Yeah, we work together all the time in all sorts of ways.
Because I thought, you know, it's Nickoli, one artist, Dahlia, the other artist. But I didn't realize you'll go on the same stage together sometimes.
Yeah, like generally we have our own careers.
Right.
You know, Dahlia, when I met her, has her own very strong brand out in Toronto, you know. So, and for me, I've been kind of like creating my own scene here too and everything. But yeah, it's kind of inevitable, you know. I feel like we click on so many levels that it was really inevitable that we would end up in the studio together to work, record. Yeah. We played a show last night actually at Green Yard on St. Vincent Street. Right. So yeah, we've been like performing together. And, like,
this is wonderful, and I love the connection. I love the energy, and I just thought I'll get a chance to see you guys perform sometime. Is she tough to work with? Tell me, you can tell me.
No,
you can tell me.
No, she's really easy to work with.
Do you get like all mushy when she's getting all tough?
No.
You know, are you like, oh my God, that's the love of my life?
I like tough people. But she's really easy to work with. I'm the problem child.
Okay. I'll take that. I don't believe that, but I'll take that. I've never seen him give any kind of trouble at all, Dahlia. Trust me. So Nickoli Salcedo, continue with your rising star and all your success. Dahlia Fernandes, what a pleasure to have you in our studio. And look out for Hero, look out for Soca S single, So Classic. Look out for Wash Away. My goodness, it's just so much creativity happening right now in this studio. We're going to take in a few messages because we have our entertainment news up next with the lovely Ainka.